So once again, thank you everybody for coming. We're on to our third presentation here today. Mr. James Howard.
Right.
All right.
Very good. So I take it we have no structured format to this, just go through it?
Right. I'm not even going to ask the questions, just run through them. And
Okay,
good.
sounds reasonable. Okay, in case you didn't catch my name, I'm Jim Howard, a lifelong resident of the area, and right away the one thing that comes to mind, it's a community college, right? Community involvement. Well, now that I'm retired, it's obviously time to get a little more involvement. So that's one of the big reasons I'm here, is to give back and hopefully contribute to the success of not only the board but the college. As I said, I'm a lifelong resident. I'm also a Navy veteran. I got to give you, not that I was counting, but it was 8 years, 2 months, 5 days that I was on active duty. I'm a graduate of SC4, and there's a whole story behind that that we won't go into. I've also got a Master of Science degree from Walsh College. Over 30 years experience working at what started out as AT&T and ended up as AT&T after we went through all the breakups. One of the big things I see there in that working experience was my last position. I was a client systems administrator, and we were working with about an $11 million budget to add all the central offices. And if you look across the river, you see the big tower and the Bell building over there. We had over 1,300 of those to bring into the system, which we were doing, including all the AT&T cellular switches, which was a lot of fun. Everything from Alaska to Florida. It was quite a project. So that kind of wraps up why I want to be here and some of my qualifications. This next one I found interesting, the difference between a college and a business as far as managing it. I kind of see two primary differences. The one is the nature of the business. Most businesses are for profit. The college really isn't. So that, and how we handle that, we could go on forever. The other difference I see, is the customer base. In a for-profit business, you're looking at a customer base trying to provide a product or service that you can sell to them. Well, the college, you're also selling a product, but you're also preparing people to go out there and manage businesses. So your customer base is here for a learning experience, not a job experience. I see that as the two big differences. I love this next one, this shared governance thing. I agonized over this the first time we tried this little trick of answering these questions. I really see it as a governing by committee, which is really pretty hard to do. And a lot of times I don't think you end up with the product you're really looking for. Now, I don't know whether the charter of the board or the charter of the college even allows for that much sharing. And the big concern I see with that type of thing is, are you going to reach everyone? Are you going to reach a representative audience of not only the students, but the instructors and the community, because it is a community college and we're here to provide that service of education for the community. This next one is a lot of fun too. Consider visiting the college. In my last job as a client systems administrator, that was what it was all about, was talking to the client to get them involved, find out their needs, and work for them. I think, if I'm wrong, that right now, not allowed to contact board members directly. You have to go through the board chairman, I believe. So we'd really have to look at that one to see if we can work within those constraints. Excuse me. The next one about getting ideas out to the community and the college, well, it's funny because right away I went back to my old days at the college, and we had the paper, which is still here, the Erie Square Gazette, the radio station, Times Herald, of course, and of course the Community 6 bulletin board. But in today's environment, oh, pray tell, we're all carrying around these little electronics devices that people live on. So obviously social media is going to be a big way to disperse ideas and to get feedback in a lot of cases. Some of it good, some of it bad, but we deal with everything that's out there. And the last question they have, which, of course, I'm not here to do my doctoral dissertation, but I think you could do it on whether you want to broadcast board meetings on television or not. I have several concerns there. I don't know if there's a precedent for that at any of the colleges in the state of Michigan. But I worry about people becoming TV stars. I worry about audience participation. And then, of course, is it a live broadcast? Are we going to edit out perhaps things that shouldn't have been said or comments by people where we rant a little bit? I think if you look at our current presidential candidates, you can see where a lot of stuff should have been edited before it was broadcast to us, the public. So, although on its face it sounds like a good idea, there's a lot of concerns to me that would need to be ironed out before we would do such a thing. So, I guess I think I've answered the questions. So, do we do questions from the audience now? Anyone have one? Outstanding. Quiet. Oh, there we are. Yes, sir.
Mr. Howard, you said you attended SC4?
Yes.
At one point? And I assume you went somewhere else. How would you compare your experience here to the other institution, whatever that was, and what changes what ideas did you see at the other places that you would like to see instituted here?
You know, it's a good way to put that because the other institute I went to was Walsh College,
Okay.
which worked very closely with SC4 in transfer programs. Being the community college, of course, I was able to, 6 miles away from home. From work, it was a little tougher because most of my working experience was out of town, so I was always driving to get to school. But the part I really liked between SC4 and Walsh, I could take a core set of classes here at SC4, take Walsh classes at SC4. On campus, I only had to do the last 15 classes to get my bachelor's degree. Now, the master's degree was all down there, but that was okay because I was working in Pontiac and West Bloomfield and on the way home. So I think that sort of thing and the ability to transfer classes. We have a young lady who I hope is my future granddaughter-in-law going to go to Wayne State to get in the pharmacological school. They told her, take as many classes as you can here. It's a lot cheaper, then come to us. I hope that answers your question. Anyone else? Yes, sir, in the back.
Transparency can often be a big deal for any person who holds any sort of public position. On issue number 6, you mentioned that there are certain things you think should be edited. Well, a lot of voters might want to hear someone's honest thoughts on things. They wouldn't want publicly it's edited.
Yeah, the editing I see is when people rant and rave and really just take up time. You know how some people get at a meeting, they're the loud squeaky wheel? I don't know, do we need that? If they have a point, yes. I'm not censored. I don't like censoring. But editing to a point, and plus when you broadcast stuff, you got to get it into a time frame. They don't give you 3 hours of broadcast time to do what should be an hour meeting. That's where I see editing. Not censorship, just control. Anyone else? Oh, you guys were easy.
Yeah.
But I thank you very much for the opportunity, and get out there and vote. It's certainly going to be an interesting election year. Bless us all.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thanks.
Please
Appreciate it.
watch your step.